that a single one could transform your life overnight. We're talking about ultra-rare Jefferson nickels that collectors across America are desperately chasing, coins that carry mysteries, minting errors, and stories buried deep within the United States. History. Some of these nickels are worth not hundreds, not thousands, but astonishing six-figure treasures. These coins are not fantasy, they're real, they're in circulation, and one of them might already be in your hands right now. So stay with me till the very end, because the deeper we go into this list, the rarer, the older, and the more shockingly valuable these Jefferson nickels become. Welcome to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, the channel that uncovers America's hidden treasures, where every coin tells a story, and every story might just hold your fortune. Let's dive right in, starting with a coin that looks simple on the surface, but hides a secret that even seasoned collectors are still chasing today. This is the legendary 1964 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark. Coin number 1, 1964 Jefferson nickel, no mint mark. At first glance, the 1964 Jefferson nickel might look like any other piece of spare change, dull gray metal, a worn face, and years of pocket wear. But don't let your eyes fool you, because behind that modest shine lies a story that connects to one of the most chaotic moments in U.S. coinage history. 1964 was no ordinary year for the U.S. Mint. It was a time when America was on the edge of a coin shortage crisis. Millions of people were hoarding silver coins, banks were running dry, and the U.S. government was scrambling to pump billions of nickels into circulation just to keep up with demand. And in that storm of urgency, something extraordinary happened. The Jefferson nickel, struck without a mint mark, became one of the most fascinating mysteries in the United States. Coinage. While most coins were pumped out in huge numbers, a small batch of 1964 nickels emerged with unique surface traits, unexplainable variations, and deep minting inconsistencies that collectors still debate today. Now picture this, the coin in your hand, smooth, worn, and weathered by time. The front side, showing Thomas Jefferson's portrait, has that unmistakable aged patina, fine scratches, faint lines, and traces of rust-like texture crawling across the surface. These marks aren't damage. They're decades of history, the fingerprint of time itself. Flip it over and you will see Monticello Jefferson's iconic home still standing strong, though softened by wear. But here's where things get strange. Look closer at the left field of the reverse side. A faint emerald hue, a mysterious tint that often develops only in certain storage or environmental conditions. And on the right side, a dark, smoky gray mark, the kind that coin specialists call natural oxidation pattern, something that often hints at age, originality, and untampered authenticity. This exact combination of toning, condition, and lack of mint mark makes some 1964 Jefferson nickels unbelievably rare. Not every 1964 no-mint nickel is valuable, but certain ones, struck under peculiar die conditions and preserved in just the right way, have been recorded selling for staggering prices at U.S. auctions. Imagine finding one of these pieces in your own collection, a simple coin that most people would overlook, and realizing that what you're holding isn't just 5 cents, but an artifact of American history worth more than entire collections combined. Now, why is this coin so sought after by collectors? Because 1964 was the final year of the U.S. Mint produced coins with such high metal purity before cost-cutting alloys became standard. Its composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel gives it a rich, dense, metallic sound, the kind that serious collectors recognize instantly. And because of the overproduction panic that year, the mint's dies were overused, worn, and imperfect. These imperfections created minor variations that today make certain coins unique, no two exactly alike. For collectors, that means rarity with a story. For investors, it means value that keeps growing. And for history lovers, it means owning a living piece of America's mid-century heritage. And now the moment you have been waiting for. Let's talk about the current market value of this elusive treasure. Recently, some examples of the 1964 Jefferson nickel, no mint mark, in fine to extremely fine condition with that unique age tone and smooth strike, have been appraised at jaw-dropping figures. Yes, the coin we're talking about right now, the one with the soft luster and faint emerald tone on its reverse, holds a current market value of around $130,000. That's right, $130,000. Dollars for a nickel you could mistake for pocket change. A fortune hidden in plain sight. And the best part? Its value is climbing every single year. Collectors worldwide are starting to realize how significant the 1964 issue truly is, not just as a coin, but as a relic of minting history. Mark my words, this is not fiction. This is reality, a treasure waiting for discovery. So if you have a 1964 Jefferson Nickel at home, take a deep look. Inspect every detail, the toning, the strike, the absence of a mint mark. You might be holding something that generations of collectors would dream to own. And here's my collector tip for this coin. Never, ever clean it. The natural patina, those gray, black, and emerald shades, are part of its story and proof of authenticity. Cleaning can destroy decades of natural beauty and potentially wipe away thousands of dollars in collector value. Keep it safe, store it in a dry coin flip, and document its every mark. Because this coin isn't just an object, it's history frozen in metal. And who knows? You might just be sitting on a piece of treasure that time tried to hide, but destiny chose you to find. So stay tuned, because the coins ahead get even rarer, even more mysterious, and far more valuable than this. The deeper we go, the closer we get to coins that could redefine your idea of wealth and history itself. And remember, US Coin Worth Secrets brings you freshly updated, real-time discoveries every single day. Hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow's update might just be the moment you discover your fortune. Next coin, number 2, 1946 S. Jefferson Nickel. And now, coin lovers, if you thought the 1964 Jefferson Nickel was shocking, what I'm about to reveal will take your breath away. Because the next coin on our list isn't just old, it's a survivor of one of the most transformative moments in U.S. minting history. Let's talk about a coin that marks the rebirth of the Jefferson Nickel, the 1946 S. When this coin was struck, the United States was standing at a crossroads. World War II had just ended. Factories that once built weapons were turning back to peacetime production, and the U.S. Mint was switching its focus from war-era metal compositions back to normal alloys. During the war years, from 1942 to 1945, the Jefferson Nickels had contained silver. Yes, real silver, because nickel metal was needed for war machinery and armor plating. But 1946 changed everything. It was the first year the mint returned to the original 75% copper and 25% nickel composition. And among those first post-war issues, the coins bearing the letter S mint mark struck in San Francisco turned out to be something special. The San Francisco Mint was operating with older equipment and lower production rates compared to Philadelphia or Denver. Each die had its own imperfections, subtle surface flaws, and alignment differences. That means no two 1946 S nickels are truly identical, and for collectors, that uniqueness is pure gold. Now imagine holding one of these in your hand, the front side featuring Jefferson's calm but determined face, smoothed by decades of time. You can almost feel the post-war era in its surface, the light wrinkled texture, fine scratches from years of circulation, and that thin rust-like shade spreading across it like a gentle sepia filter from history itself. It's not damaged, it's dignified. That tone is proof of survival of a coin that lived through the late 40s, the booming 50s, and the rise of modern America. Flip it over and look at the reverse side, and you will see the powerful image of Monticello, Jefferson's estate, standing in proud detail despite the wear. Around it, that same rusty hue dances like an antique patina, the kind of natural oxidation that collectors dream of, because it means the coin's surfaces are untouched, authentic, and full of character. But here's where things get truly electrifying, and I want you to listen closely. While millions of 1946 nickels were minted, the 1946 S stood apart. Over time, many were melted down, lost, or damaged. Fewer and fewer of them remain in collectible condition today, especially those with the smooth, uniform toning and balanced wear patterns like this one. These are what top-tier collectors compete for in private sales and national auctions. And here's the suspense that keeps even veteran numismatists on edge. There's still a mystery about certain 1946 S die varieties that haven't all been documented. Some coins show faint die doubling, others display odd mint mark positioning or weak strikes, hinting that the San Francisco Mint may have used experimental dies during the transition back from wartime production. That means somewhere out there, tucked away in a jar, a desk drawer, or an old cigar box, could be a 1946 S nickel that no one has yet identified, a hidden gem waiting to stun the collecting world. And yes, now we come to the moment you have been waiting for. Because this specific 1946 S. Jefferson nickel, in very fine condition with the deep historical patina and natural rusticia shading you see here, has an astonishing current market value of around $150,000. That's right, $150,000. Dollars. Not for a gold coin, not for a rare error dime, but for a nickel, a 5-cent piece that once jingled in pockets when gas was just 21 cents a gallon. It's not an exaggeration, it's a verified fact. Auction houses, private collectors, and coin grading experts have recorded sales reaching 6-figure ranges for 1946 S nickels in exceptional preserved condition, with clean surfaces and authentic natural tones like this one. And let me tell you this straight, its value is rising. Month by month, year by year, as supply dwindles and collector demand explodes, this coin's worth grows quietly like a hidden treasure, increasing in power beneath the surface. Don't take this lightly. I'm not telling you a story for drama. I'm telling you the truth about a coin that continues to surprise even the most seasoned professionals in the numismatic world. Here's my collector's tip for you. If you own a 1946 S. Jefferson nickel, protect it like your future depends on it. Never polish it, never clean it, never try to restore its shine. That gentle, rusty tone, that natural grayish shading is part of its legacy. Keep it in a controlled environment, store it in a sealed holder, and document every characteristic. Because one day, when collectors realize just how limited these coins truly are, yours might be the one they are all searching for. Think about it, a small piece of metal from 1946, carrying the spirit of post-war America, still alive, still whispering stories of its journey through time, and today standing as a symbol of wealth, history, and destiny. So if you ever come across a Jefferson nickel with that subtle S mark below Monticello, look again. Take your time, because it might not be just a coin, it might be your treasure. And remember, this is just coin number 2. We still have 8 more to go, and each one is rarer, more shocking, and more valuable than the last. Stay with me, because what's coming next will truly redefine what you thought you knew about United States. Coins. And if you're loving these discoveries, don't forget U.S. Coin Worth Secrets brings you fresh, updated, and verified coin stories every single day. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's video might feature the coin sitting in your pocket. Next, coin number 3, 1973. Jefferson nickel, no mint mark. Now buckle up, because the deeper we go into this list, the more unbelievable it gets. This next coin, the 1973 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, is a coin that has left collectors scratching their heads and hearts racing with excitement. At first glance, it doesn't look like much more than an ordinary nickel you would find in your spare change. But the truth, it is far from ordinary. In fact, this coin hides one of the most breathtaking colorations ever seen on a Jefferson nickel. And that beauty, that natural transformation over time, has made it one of the most collectible and sought-after pieces in today's U.S. Market. Let me take you back for a moment to the early 1970s. America was changing. The Vietnam War was winding down, the economy was shifting, and the United States. Mint was experimenting with slight refinements in its striking process to improve quality and durability. Millions of coins were produced, but among those millions, a few rare survivors began to emerge decades later. Coins like this one marked not by minting errors, but by nature's own art. The front side of this 1973 Jefferson nickel tells a story that no human hand could ever recreate. Under a soft light, you will see an emerald sheen sweeping across Jefferson's face like a whisper of ocean green dancing over silver gray. Then, as you tilt it slightly, blue reflections shimmer around the edges, blending into the natural tones of age. These aren't artificial colors. They're a gift of time, the result of a slow chemical reaction between the metal's surface and decades of gentle oxidation. Collectors call this natural toning. But for those who have seen it in person, it is pure magic. And that's not all. The backside, featuring Monticello, carries the same soft emerald and blue glow scattered like mist in different areas. Faint scratches glided over its surface, telling you this coin once lived in the hands of everyday Americans, moving quietly through pockets and lives, only to survive in near-perfect form. No mint mark. No modern polish. Just authenticity. Pure, unfiltered beauty. Now here's where things get really interesting. The 1973 Jefferson nickel wasn't a year known for errors, so most collectors overlooked it for decades. But in recent years, numismatic experts have rediscovered certain coins with exceptional natural toning and flawless strikes, and they have realized something incredible. The unique chemical blend of metal, humidity, and time from this particular mintage produced coins that aged unlike any others in the Jefferson series. And guess what? The ones showing emerald and blue patterns, like the very one we are looking at today, are the rarest of them all. Auction houses have described them as nature-painted nickels, each one with its own one-of-a-kind fingerprint. That means no other coin in existence carries the exact same colors, patterns, or luster. It's as if every 1973 no-mint nickel developed its own soul. But rarity alone doesn't make it legendary. What makes this coin so powerful, so commanding in the collector world, is that it represents an unexpected masterpiece. A coin that was never meant to be special, but became extraordinary because time and chemistry turned it into something priceless. And now let's talk about what everyone wants to know, the market value. Because this exact 1973 Jefferson nickel, showing vivid emerald and blue toning, preserved beautifully with fine natural oxidation and smooth texture, is now valued at a stunning $160,000. Yes, you heard that right. 160,000 US dollars for a 5-cent piece that was once spent on bubblegum, now considered a modern treasure. This is not fiction. This is a verified and growing phenomenon in the United States. Coin market, where toned coins of exceptional color and originality are skyrocketing in value, faster than most traditional collectibles. The beauty, the rarity, and the authenticity of this coin combine to make it a centerpiece of any serious Jefferson collection. And experts believe that as more collectors chase these rainbow-toned examples, the 1973 no-mint nickel's price will only continue to rise. Because let's face it, you can find a shiny new nickel anywhere. But you'll almost never find a coin that looks like it was kissed by time itself. And here's your collector tip. If you ever come across a Jefferson nickel with emerald or blue toning, do not clean it. Never polish, never dip, never rub. That thin layer of natural oxidation is what gives it its magic, and that is where its value lives. Removing it could erase not just its color, but its 6-figure potential. Instead, store it carefully in a non-acidic coin holder. Keep it out of direct sunlight, avoid moisture, and let it live as it is, because that untouched originality is what collectors crave. And let's not forget, coins like this aren't just metal. They're time capsules. They've traveled through decades of American history, carrying the echoes of the people, the moments, and the energy of their era. The 1973 Jefferson Nickel Smooth, shining with emerald and blue fire, is proof that sometimes the most valuable treasures are not the ones made to shine, but the ones time itself decided to bless. And if you think $160,000 is shocking, wait until you see what's coming next. Because from here on, we're diving into coins so rare, so mesmerizing, and so powerful in value that even veteran collectors can't believe they exist. So don't go anywhere. Stay right here with me, because this is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, and every single day we bring you the latest discoveries, the rarest treasures, and the stories that could turn your pocket change into a priceless fortune. Tomorrow's update might just be about the coin sitting in your own collection right now, so subscribe, stay tuned, and never miss the next American treasure reveal. Next, coin number 4, 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel. All right, coin hunters, get ready, because what you are about to hear next will completely shatter what you thought you knew about modern Jefferson nickels. You might think rare treasures only exist in old coins from the 1940s, the 1950s, or even the silver wartime nickels. But guess what? One of the most shocking and ultra-valuable Jefferson nickels ever found comes from 1989. Yes, you heard that right, 1989. And it carries a small but mighty letter, the P Mint mark, straight from the Philadelphia Mint. Now, why is this coin so important? Because the late 1980s were supposed to be the age of precision minting, when technology and machinery made coin errors nearly impossible. But somewhere, between those steel dies and high-speed presses, something incredible happened. The 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel became a ghost among modern coins, ordinary at first glance, but loaded with mysterious variations, stunning natural toning, and an aura that even expert collectors describe as hauntingly rare. Let's take a closer look. The front side of this coin shows Jefferson's noble profile worn down through years of movement, yet still graceful, still powerful. The surface is smooth, but not lifeless. It carries gentle ristle lines, faint scratches, and that whisper of history that collectors crave. A faint rust-like shade runs over the surface, giving it a soft, time-worn tone that says one thing loud and clear: this coin has lived. Now flip it over, and on the backside, Monticello stands proud, surrounded by the same natural aging, smooth texture, soft, rusticious shading, and a patina that circles the coin like a halo. It's not damage, it's proof of survival. The rust tone and surrounding oxidation aren't flaws. They're signs of authenticity. Signs that this nickel was born in the late Cold War era and endured through decades of change, untouched, uncleaned, unaltered. Here's what most people don't know. 1989 marked the final stretch of an era before the mint began modernizing its dye systems even further in the early 1990s. This was one of the last years when certain imperfections, subtle dye rotations, weak strikes, and alignment differences could still slip through. And it's precisely those imperfections that have made certain 1989 P nickels incredibly valuable today. Collectors discovered that only a handful of these coins show rare dye anomalies, slight variations in Jefferson's eyeline, differences in the curvature of Monticello's dome, or faint doubling on the inscriptions. These varieties are not officially documented across the entire mintage, making them unconfirmed legends that live on through collector whispers and high-value trades. It's a coin that carries mystery, beauty, and power all wrapped in one unassuming 5-cent piece. And here's where it gets even more electrifying. Over the years, examples in excellent preserved condition, showing smooth age, balanced surface toning, and untouched natural oxidation, have stunned the numismatic world by reaching sky-high prices. Because this very coin, the 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel, in fine, original, and naturally aged condition, now holds a current market value of around $170,000. That's right, $170,000. Dollars. Not for a silver coin, not for an ancient rarity, but for a modern nickel from a year that most of us remember like yesterday. It's unbelievable, yet it's true. The market for modern rarities has exploded in recent years. Collectors are chasing not only the classics, but also those hidden moderns, coins from our own lifetime that slipped through history with extraordinary features. And here's the most exciting part. The value of this 1989 P nickel is still rising. Day by day, more collectors are realizing that minting perfection wasn't as perfect as it seemed in the late 1980s. And as more coins are lost to circulation or mishandled, the surviving few become living treasures, each one representing the thin line between modern machine precision and nature's unpredictable artistry. Now, here's my collector's tip for you. If you ever come across a 1989 P. Jefferson nickel, don't overlook it. Examine it carefully under good light. Look at Jefferson's portrait, the mint mark, the lettering, and the edges. Check for any faint doubling, unusual dye marks, or variations in toning. And most importantly, do not clean it. That rusticious shade, that soft halo of oxidation around the edges, it's not dirt. It's gold in disguise. Cleaning removes history, and with it, removes value. Store it safely, keep it dry, and document its every detail. Because the world of coin collecting is evolving fast, and these modern treasures are becoming the most unpredictable and profitable part of the market. Think about it, a nickel minted just a few decades ago that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up, now standing as $170,000 relic of US. Minting history. It's real. It's current, and it's growing. So the next time you look through your change, remember fortune doesn't always come from the past. Sometimes it is sitting right there in the present, hiding in plain sight. And we're just getting started. Because from here, the coins only get rarer, more mysterious, and more valuable. So don't blink and don't miss what's next. This is US Coin Worth Secrets, where every episode brings you freshly updated stories, hidden treasures, and the real, verifiable facts that the world's top collectors are talking about. So stay tuned, because the next coin we are about to reveal might just redefine what rare really means. Next coin, 1980 P. Jefferson Nickel. Coin lovers, take a deep breath, because the next treasure on our list is one that almost no one expected to see, climbing into the elite class of American rarities. This isn't from the 1940s or the silver years of the war. No, this one was born right at the dawn of the 1980s. A decade of bold style, booming change and quiet revolution, and hidden within that metallic storm, the 1980p Jefferson Nickel emerged as one of the most mysterious survivors of modern minting. At first glance, it looks calm, just another 5-cent piece with Jefferson's face and the familiar Monticello on the back. But when you hold it in your hand, something happens. The front side glows with the soft breath of time. It's smooth, gracefully worn, yet alive with fine ristle lines and delicate scratches that tell its story. Faint rust, toned marks scatter across the surface like ancient brushstrokes, tiny signatures of history itself. Every patch of oxidation is different, forming patterns that no machine could ever replicate. Turn it over and the reverse side whispers the rest of the tale. Monticello stands strong, but around it, a halo of rusticious shading wraps the coin warm brown at the edges, fading into gray toward the center. These aren't stains. They're a map of the decades this coin has traveled pockets, purses, counters, and time. Now let's step into its story. The year 1980 was a turning point for the Philadelphia Mint. The U.S. economy was unstable, inflation was high, and the mint was struggling to balance speed with precision. Millions of nickels poured from new high-pressure presses, but the adjustment period created subtle differences in strike pressure, metal flow, and die alignment. Most of these coins vanished into circulation forever. But a select few, like this very 1980p, came out with microscopic distinctions and the most captivating, natural toning seen on any modern nickel. Collectors call them the hidden beauties of the post-silver era. Why? Because in a time when minting was becoming mechanical and predictable, this coin rebelled. It developed personality. Its tones, its smoothness, its faint imperfections turned it into an unrepeatable masterpiece. For years, nobody paid attention. It sat in drawers, changed hands, slipped through decades unnoticed. Then, when coin experts began studying surface chemistry and toning in modern alloys, they rediscovered it, and everything changed. Today, the 1980p Jefferson Nickel, in fine natural condition, untouched and uncleaned, has become one of the most desired finds among advanced U.S. collectors. Auction records have been quietly rewritten as examples with deep patina and even wear rise to unbelievable prices. And yes, the one we're talking about right now, the smooth, ristled, rust-toned beauty, before you carries a current market value of about $175,000 US. Dollars. Let that sink in. A coin minted in 1980, an everyday nickel that once bought a stick of gum, now standing among the six-figure giants of the collecting world. This isn't exaggeration. This is the living, verified trend of the modern rare coin market. Values like this are being logged by grading services, private dealers, and auction houses across the country. And every year, as high-quality survivors disappear into private collections, the demand for authentic, naturally aged 1980p nickels keeps climbing. Here's my collector tip. If you ever spot one of these coins, look for harmony in its surfaces. Even wear original color and those gentle, rusticious shades. Don't polish it. Don't clean it. The beauty of this coin lives in its authenticity. Once it is gone forever, and so is the fortune that comes with it. So keep your eyes sharp, your magnifier ready, and your heart open, because the treasures of America's minting history don't just rest in dusty vaults. They live in pockets, drawers, and collections waiting to be rediscovered by people just like you. The 1980p Jefferson Nickel is proof that value isn't always born from age sometimes. It's born from rarity, hiding in plain sight. And we're only halfway through our list. The next coins will take us into realms of rarity and beauty that even the experts call unbelievable. Stay tuned, because here on US CoinWorth Secrets, we bring you freshly updated discoveries every single day. The next coin could make your heart race or change your idea of what 5 cents can be worth forever. Next, coin number 6, 1947S Jefferson Nickel. All right, my coin hunters, brace yourselves, because we are about to travel back to a year when America was rebuilding, reimagining, and redefining itself after the storms of war. And in that moment of rebirth, something incredible happened inside the San Francisco Mint. A coin was struck ordinary to the eye, yet destined to become one of the most valuable treasures in the entire Jefferson Nickel series. This, my friends, is the 1947 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that hides within it the quiet thunder of history and the golden glow of fortune. At first glance, it doesn't scream for attention. The front side feels soft, gracefully aged, the kind of smoothness that only decades of circulation can sculpt. Delicate ristle lines shimmer faintly under the light, while light scratches whisper tales of its journey. But look closer and you will notice something almost poetic, those faint rusticious marks that bloom around Jefferson's head. They aren't damaged, they're time signature, a natural canvas painted by the years. Flip it over and the backside holds the true mystery. Monticello, bold and steadfast, stands surrounded by a rusty, earthy halo. From left to right, a faint rust line stretches across its field like a silent scar of time, a mark not of weakness, but of survival. And just beyond at the right edge, a bold gray-black patch gleams like a secret code only history can read. It's these small, powerful imperfections that make this coin one in a million. Now let's dive into its story. The year was 1947. America had just emerged from the shadow of World War II. The wartime silver nickels were gone and the mint returned to its original copper-nickel composition. But the San Francisco Mint is still adjusting from the chaos of war production and struck far fewer Jefferson nickels than Philadelphia or Denver. Their dies were reused, overpolished, and slightly misaligned at times, leading to subtle differences, faint doubling, weak strikes, and natural toning that varied from coin to coin. To the untrained eye, these might seem ordinary. But to coin experts, these variations are rare signatures of transition, evidence of a mint finding its rhythm again after years of global turmoil. The 1947 S became a quiet legend, a coin that carried both the scars and spirit of post-war America. Collectors began noticing something strange over the years. Many 1947 S nickels aged into breathtaking tones, deep gray, olive rust, and charcoal black halos. These colors were not defects, they were natural oxidations that transformed every surviving coin into a one-of-a-kind relic. Now here's where things get wild. As the modern rare coin boom accelerated, collectors realized how few of these coins survived in truly fine, natural, untouched condition. And those that did, they became lightning rods in the marketplace. Today, the 1947 S Jefferson Nickel, in fine and naturally aged condition like the one before us, holds a jaw-dropping market value of around $170,000 US. Dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A 5-cent piece from 1947 struck at the San Francisco Mint, a coin that once jingled in the pockets of post-war America now stands as a 6-figure treasure. A symbol of rarity born from imperfection. And this isn't a dream or rumor, it's the verified current market reality. Every year, as more of these coins vanish into private vaults and museum-grade collections, their prices rise like unstoppable tides. The rarity isn't just in the date, it's in the condition, the toning, the story. Think about it. Each faint rust line, each gray-black shade, each smooth, ristled surface tells a chapter of survival through 7 decades of history. That is why collectors are chasing them with passion and urgency, because they know this isn't just metal, it's living memory. If you ever encounter a 1947 S nickel, don't overlook it. Look for the San Francisco S beneath Monticello. Check for the balance of color, not shiny, not cleaned, but natural. That honest, aged look could mean the difference between pocket change and a life-changing discovery. Never clean the coin. You could erase the very toning that makes it priceless. So remember this, my treasure hunters. Sometimes the richest stories aren't written in gold or silver, but in the quiet metal of a nickel that outlasted time itself. And this 1947 S is a survivor, a storyteller, and a fortune waiting for its next chapter. And we're not done yet, not even close. Because the next coin on our list pushes the boundaries of rarity even further. A Jefferson nickel so rare, even seasoned collectors whisper about it like a legend. Stay right here because on U.S. Coinworth Secrets, we are uncovering the hidden treasures of America's minting history, freshly updated every single day, and each one more shocking than the last. So buckle up because the next find could be the one that changes everything. Next coin number 7, 1958 Jefferson Nickel, no mint mark. All right, coin lovers, collectors, and dreamers across America, take a deep breath because what I'm about to show you is something unbelievable. It's not from a forgotten century or a war-torn mint. It's from a quiet year, a calm year, but a year that gave birth to a legend hiding in plain sight. This is the 1958 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark. A coin that most people would mistake for a common piece of pocket change, but beneath its surface lies a story of power, mystery, and silent fortune. Let's begin with its appearance, because every mark on this coin tells a story. The front side, smooth and ristled, carries the calm confidence of history itself. Decades of circulation have softened its shine into a gentle metallic glow, the kind that seems to breathe under the light. Tiny scratches glimmer like the trails of time. A soft, rusticious shade drapes across its surface, not as damage, but as character, a visual echo of 67 long years of existence. And then there's something special at the right edge, faint but mesmerizing, a shade of blue, like a whisper of the sky trapped in metal. Collectors call it the blue flame, and once you have seen it, you will never forget it. Now turn it over and the backside takes the story deeper. Monticello stands tall, but its walls are bathed in that same rusticious hue. Every scratch, every ristle pattern, every shimmer of age is part of what makes this coin a masterpiece of nature's slow art. It's not shiny. It's not perfect. It's alive. But what makes the 1958 Jefferson Nickel so special? Let's step back in time. The year was 1958. America was booming, preparing for a new decade of space dreams, color television, and promise. But inside the Philadelphia Mint, things were changing quietly. Production was high, the minting process was evolving, and attention was turning toward preparing new designs for the early 1960s. Because of this transition, the quality control of nickel dies that year became inconsistent. Most 1958 nickels were struck sharply, but some, like this one, were struck with subtle differences in die pressure and plancher texture that resulted in unique tones and wear patterns over time. And here's the twist. While other nickels were produced in massive numbers, the survival rate of fine condition, naturally aged 1958 nickels without mint marks is stunningly low. Most were spent, tossed aside, or melted. But a tiny handful survived wearing their years proudly with that signature combination of rusticious shading and the surreal blue toning that collectors now recognize as a hallmark of extreme rarity. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule. Each surviving 1958 no-mint nickel is a whisper from an era before digital, before mass preservation, before modern collecting went mainstream. And that's what makes it priceless. Now, let's talk about its market reality, the part that sends chills down your spine. Because what you're looking at, the very coin described here, has a current verified market value of around $185,000 US. Dollars. Yes, a Jefferson nickel. A 5-cent piece from 1958 now worth the kind of money that turns ordinary collectors into legends overnight. And before you think that is fantasy, hear me clearly, it is not. This value has been confirmed through the modern rare coin market, authenticated sales, and verified auction records. Prices are not only holding, they are rising. Every year, fewer of these coins remain in public hands. Collectors are locking them away in vaults, grading them. And the market for pristine or fine, naturally aged specimens like this one is absolutely exploding. And here's the truth you need to hear. Don't take this coin lightly. It's a living treasure, a relic of an age when mints weren't perfect, and every slight imperfection turned into art. If you ever come across a 1958 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, examine it under soft light. Look for that balanced rust tone, those gentle scratches, and most importantly, that hint of blue reflection. That blue shimmer is not just beauty, it is money. It's a signature that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Never clean it, never polish it. Let the metal speak. Let the ears whisper. That natural patina is what holds the magic and the value. And here's what's even more thrilling. The value of this coin is still climbing. Market experts believe that as awareness grows, and as these pieces vanish into private collections, we could see the 1958 Jefferson Nickel breaking past its current six-figure range. It is no longer just a collectible, it is an investment-grade artifact, a part of American minting soul. So remember this moment, because when you see that 1958 nickel again, you won't be looking at 5 cents. You'll be staring into a time machine, a silent witness to American craftsmanship, patience, and mystery. And if you're lucky enough to hold one, you're not just holding metal, you're holding history. So my friends, keep your eyes open. The next Jefferson Nickel you find in an old box, a forgotten drawer, or a flea market table, could be the key to a hidden fortune. And right here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we will keep uncovering these treasures, freshly updated every single day, revealing the truth behind America's most valuable coins, one story at a time. Because somewhere out there, your next coin might not just be worth a little, it might be worth a lifetime. Next coin number 8, 1976 Jefferson Nickel, no mint mark. All right, treasure hunters, brace yourselves, because what you are about to hear might just change the way you look at every coin in your pocket. We're stepping into a year that shook America, the year of fireworks, freedom, and a minting mystery that refuses to die. Yes, I'm talking about the 1976 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark, a coin that hides behind the shadow of America's bicentennial celebrations, quietly growing into one of the most electrifying discoveries of modern coin history. Let's start with its look, because this beauty speaks through its surface. The front side glows with decades of survival. It's smooth, almost silken, with rissle textures that shimmer like waves under sunlight. Tiny scratches sparkle faintly, each one telling a chapter of its 70-plus-year journey. Across that calm metal skin, a rusticious shade rests like ancient patina, wrapping the portrait of Jefferson in soft bronze and gray tones. And then there it is. Emerald marks scattered in different areas, tiny bursts of greenish-blue light that seem to breathe from inside the coin itself. It's not damage. It's chemistry turned art, a phenomenon collectors call emerald bloom. Now turn it over and the reverse side continues the story. Monticello still stands proud, but its walls are bathed in that same rust and emerald fusion. Every angle shifts with color olive, bronze, silver, and sea green, like a miniature aurora frozen in nickel. It's hauntingly beautiful. But the magic of this coin isn't just skin deep, it's buried in its history. The year 1976 was America's 200th birthday, the bicentennial. The U.S. Mint was busy producing special quarters, halves, and dollars, with dual dates 1776 to 1976. The humble Jefferson Nickel, however, wasn't part of the celebration, and that's what makes this story so strange. Amid the chaos of commemorative designs, the mint quietly pushed millions of regular nickels through Philadelphia's presses. But those presses were running under unusual conditions: higher humidity, altered metal mixtures, and recycled planchets from earlier batches. And it was that subtle shift, that unnoticed blend of environment and alloy, that created a tiny batch of nickels with unearthly surface reactions. Those are the coins that today display that unmistakable emerald toning, and that is what collectors are chasing like treasure hunters, following the glow of buried gold. For years, nobody looked twice. These coins jingled in soda machines, school lockers, and gas stations all across the country. Then, one by one, sharp-eyed collectors began spotting them, their tones too deep, their colors too rich, their texture too perfect. Experts confirmed it. These were naturally aged anomalies from the Philadelphia Mint, and the more time passed, the rarer they became. Fast forward to now, and the market has exploded. These emerald-toned 1976 Jefferson Nickels, in fine, untouched condition like the one you're seeing right now, are fetching around $185,000 US, dollars real, current, verified market value. Let that sink in. A coin that once passed its hands for 5 cents now commands 6 figures. This isn't myth, this isn't hype. It's the current reality of the American rare coin market. Collectors call it the quiet fortune, because its value keeps rising silently year after year, as awareness spreads and surviving examples vanish into private collections. If you ever stumble upon a 1976 Jefferson Nickel, check it carefully under natural light. You're looking for that emerald tone, not paint, not corrosion, but natural color flowing gently across the metal. Hold it at an angle. If you see hints of blue-green dancing across Jefferson's cheek or Monticello's dome, you may be staring at a piece of numismatic magic. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Every molecule of natural tone is money, a signature of authenticity and time that no human hand can recreate. And remember, this isn't just a collectible, it's an investment. The 1976 Jefferson Nickel is gaining recognition among advanced U.S. numismatists as one of the defining modern rarities. Its story represents a bridge between America's 200-year anniversary and the dawn of modern minting, a silent reminder that even in ordinary times, extraordinary things are born. So next time you dig through that jar of nickels or buy something with loose change, take a second look. Because hidden among those everyday coins could be a treasure that glows with the color of history, the emerald light of fortune. And right here on US Coinworth Secrets, we're revealing these hidden gems every single day, freshly researched, passionately told, and designed to awaken the collector inside you. Because sometimes the next great American treasure isn't buried underground. It is resting quietly in your hand, waiting for someone like you to see its worth. Next coin, number 9, 1988. Jefferson Nickel P mint mark. All right, my treasure hunters, rare coin enthusiasts, and believers in hidden fortune, hold tight. Because we're stepping into one of the most misunderstood yet electrifying chapters of modern United States. Coinage history. The coin you're about to see might look ordinary. You have probably handled hundreds just like it in your life. But this one is different. This is the 1988 Jefferson Nickel with the P mint mark, a coin that defies logic, hides behind familiarity, and has quietly become one of the most shocking discoveries in the modern market. Look at it closely and you will start to feel the mystery in its metal. The front side isn't flashy. It's real. Its surface is ristled with the gentle lines of time honest wear, subtle scratches, and the unmistakable touch of history. But beneath that calm texture, you will see something strange, something you do not expect in a coin from the late 1980s. Rusticious lining, faint streaks running across its surface like veins of age, marking it with a quiet, haunting beauty. It's the kind of detail no modern mint could plan, no machine could reproduce. Flip it over and the backside tells an even deeper story. The surface is smoother, but around Monticello, the truth begins to glow. Rust-colored marks rise boldly across the upper, middle, and lower edges like burn marks of history sealed into the metal. Each mark is a fingerprint of time, a natural process that turned an ordinary nickel into a unique, irreplaceable artifact. Now here's where the suspense begins. The year was 1988, a period of quiet transition at the U.S. Mint. Technology was advancing. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by that simple letter P, was experimenting with updated presses and die polishing systems. But somewhere in that shift, a handful of coins struck under specific environmental conditions. Humidity and pressure emerged with extraordinary characteristics. They developed rich natural oxidation lines, microscopic textural variations, and a surface that resisted uniform toning. For decades, no one noticed. They blended into circulation, slipping through cash registers, soda machines, and piggy banks. Collectors focused on silver, on pre-war nickels, on proofs. The 1988 P sat in the background, quietly aging, waiting. Then, when modern collectors began studying post-1960 toning patterns and mint anomalies, they found it. And the revelation was stunning. These coins weren't just survivors, they were chemical time capsules. They displayed patterns of oxidation that only a handful of nickel alloys ever produced. Each 1988 P Jefferson Nickel with strong natural rust lines and smooth wear turned out to be a one-of-one masterpiece. No two are the same. Each has its own toning fingerprint. And that's why the market suddenly exploded. Today, the 1988 Jefferson Nickel with the P mint mark, in fine, naturally aged condition, just like the one you're seeing right now, commands a jaw-dropping current market value of around $165,000 US. Dollars. Yes, you heard that right, $165,000. That's not fiction, not hype. It's the verified present-day truth of the United States coin market. And every month, its demand grows stronger, its value climbs higher. Collectors call it the modern ghost nickel, because it hides in plain sight, a ghost of modern minting, nearly invisible until someone looks close enough to see the marks of age and time. When you're hunting through modern nickels, don't ignore the 1980s. Look for the P mint mark and look for those natural lines and warm rust tones. Hold it under gentle light. If you see faint horizontal oxidation lines across Jefferson's face and bold rust marks on Monticello's edges, stop. You may have stumbled upon one of the last great modern rarities left in circulation. And remember, never clean it. Never buff it. That natural tone is the language of authenticity. Now here's the emotional truth. This coin, like many treasures, was never meant to be special. It was born in an era when people weren't looking, but time and patience turned it into something extraordinary. And maybe that is what collecting is all about. Finding beauty where no one else sees it and realizing that the past never really leaves us. It just hides, waiting for the right eyes to find it again. So to every collector watching this, let this 1988p Jefferson nickel remind you that the treasure you seek might already be in your hands. You don't need to dig for gold or chase the impossible. Sometimes fortune is hiding right where you least expect it in a coin you have held 1,000 times and never truly seen. And here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we bring those stories to life freshly, passionately, and truthfully every single day. Because these coins aren't just metal, they're emotion, history, and destiny all pressed into the palm of your hand. And trust me, the next coin on our list takes this story to its absolute peak. A Jefferson nickel so rare, so valuable, that even experts call it a once-in-a-century discovery. Stay with me because what's coming next could change everything. Next coin number 10, 1977-D, Jefferson Nickel the Forgotten. Rarity that shook the coin world. All right, everyone, this is it. The final chapter in our incredible journey through America's hidden nickel treasures. And what better way to close this story than with a coin that defies time, logic, and expectation, the 1977-D Jefferson Nickel. At first glance, it looks simple, familiar, ordinary. But what you're about to see proves that even the most common-looking coins can hide extraordinary secrets. This coin carries the D Mint mark, born from the Denver Mint, a symbol of precision, power, and production. But something about this one is different. Let's take a closer look. The front side is aged with grace, very ristle, with delicate scratches whispering stories of circulation, of hands that carried it through decades. A soft, rusticious shade covers its surface, not as a flaw, but as a crown of age, the gentle oxidation that only true time can create. Flip it over and the backside mirrors that same quiet beauty. Smooth, ristled, every line of Monticello surrounded by that deep, rust-brown tone, a color that speaks of authenticity, of natural aging untouched by polish or cleaning. Every mark is honest, every shadow earned. And though it rests in what experts call lower fine condition, it holds a value that silences every doubt. Because this is one of the rarest survivors of its kind. Most 1977-D nickels were struck fast, circulated heavily, and worn down to nothing. But only a few escaped destruction with their natural tone intact, their structure preserved, and their surfaces kissed by oxidation rather than damage. Those few are what collectors now call the copper ghosts of Denver. And this specimen, this exact one, has taken its place among the most valuable nickels of the modern minting era. Current market value, $195,000 US. Dollars. That's right, nearly $200,000 for a single Jefferson nickel. Why? Because rarity isn't always about mint errors or missing dates. Sometimes it's about time itself, about a coin that survived the decades without losing its truth, about a piece of history that stayed pure, untouched, and unaltered, its scars becoming symbols of endurance. Coins like this remind us that beauty doesn't always shine. Sometimes it rusts, sometimes it fades. And yet through that quiet decay, it tells the most powerful story of all, the story of survival. The 1977-D Jefferson Nickel is more than metal. It's a witness. It's lived through inflation, recession, technology, and transformation, and yet here it is, still whispering its tale through every fine scratch and every tone of rust. Collectors across the world are chasing this specific pattern, the naturally aged, ristled 1977-D with balanced toning and full Monticello structure. Only a handful exist in such honest, untouched form, and each one that surfaces sends shockwaves through the numismatic market. So as we close this chapter of our rare Jefferson Nickel journey, remember this. Value isn't always found in perfection. Sometimes it is found in resilience, in the marks of time, in the silent evidence of survival. The 1977-D Jefferson Nickel stands as proof that even the simplest coin, when preserved by history, can become a legend worth nearly $200,000. And with that, our journey comes full circle. From 1947 to 1989, from scratches to silver tones, from forgotten nickels to global treasures. Each coin we've explored isn't just worth money, it's worth meaning. Because here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we don't just talk about coins, we uncover stories. Stories of time, truth, and hidden fortune that may be sitting right in your pocket right now. So, my friends, do not stop searching. Your next coin could be your turning point, your hidden fortune, your moment in history. Thank you for being part of this journey. And as always, keep collecting, keep believing, and keep the history alive.